Hi, Patricia.
Hello.
Massimo. I mute myself.
Now we'll just wait a minute or two. I see a lot of people are connecting. The time everyone has the audio and everything in. There's quite a few people.
Good morning. I'm Sylvia.
Hello. Karina, just let me know when the waiting room is empty, and we'll be starting very soon. Okay, so it seems like at least everyone who was there on time is connected. So first I want to welcome all of you. I think in most of your cases, we already had a briefing TC on how your session will take place in terms of who's speaking, how and when, and things like that. So today is really for us to show you how it will happen on the day, and also how the interactive tool will happen. So Karina, who's here with me, is from MetaFusion. It's our AV provider, so they will be handling all of the call and basically will do most of the work for you. Just before we start, I want just to give you a quick briefing on the best practice on how to handle your video. We will be sending you, if not before the end of the week, very early next week, you will have a link to a Zoom call, which is very similar to this one, which will be the link for your channel, so the one you will be using on the day of your session to be able to connect to the session. So all of you as speakers and chair, you will be in the same Zoom call, and then MetaFusion will take care of producing, packaging everything nicely, and then they will broadcast that online. So what you will see during the event will be a little bit different to what the delegate will see. You'll have the rough Zoom call, and then the delegate will have the nice polish thing. So you will have this Zoom link, everything, all the session for you will be happening in Zoom. You will also receive a link to the Slido tool, which Karina will go in a minute, which is basically the link to the Q&A feature. And if in your session you have decided to use the polling feature, she will also go over and show you how it is. In terms of your video, we recommend that you use the virtual background from the conference. I see some people are using it already. You could basically add it on your video side. There's a little arrow. You can click on that, and you can choose a virtual background. With the links, I'll be sending the background as well, so you can choose to use it. Best is to use it on a blank background. If you can try to position yourself not back to the window, have a white background or something neutral in the back, this will work best. Try not to be too close or too far away from the video. The way you see me is actually a good distance. Also try to have whatever you'll be looking at the same screen where your video is, like I am right now. If I'm looking at another video now, another screen, it will not be good for the audience. And then try to have the video at eye level so that it will be more engaging for the audience. Those are just like best practices for video. And then for the rest, I'll leave it to Karina, who will show you the interactive tools and also how it will work out on the day before we actually go live. Up to you, Karina.
Yes, thanks. And in addition to the virtual background, it's not working on every device. For example, my computer can't do it. I look like this. Sometimes I have it in my teeth, but yeah. So don't worry about that then. It's the device.
We'll be checking all of that during the warm-up. We'll have half an hour before the session. Yes. So you'll be able to check that with the technician. And Massimo, I like yours. We're checking with the technician, and they'll let you know if it's okay or not.
Okay, so I will share my screen right now. So you should be able to see the Slido. You will get the link from Easel prior to the meeting. You have to set up an account. It's for free. You just have to sign in with an email address. And then this will look like this when there's no question in here. So at the beginning of a meeting, it will look like this. All the questions that are coming in from the audience will be on the left side here. So when I just do this, great question. Someone asked a really great question. Someone asked a not so great question. And maybe let's just put some random things in here so you can see. So the audience asks questions like this, and for you, it looks like this at the moment. So you as the moderator now say, okay, great questions. We want this to be shown on the live stream, and also the speakers should be able to see it. I approve this. The not so great question, no. And there are two random questions, we just accept them. Okay, so now they're here on the right side, and these are the questions that are also shown under the live stream. So if the participants, the viewers of the live stream see that maybe one question is already in here, maybe they don't ask it again, because they can also like it on the website. You see the likes here then, the thumbs up. You can also highlight some questions with a star if you want to. If you want to, like, I really want to ask this and this and this questions when you're listening to the recording in the Q&A, and then you maybe mark one or two, because then you can say filter and only the ones with the star. But it's up to you. You can just leave it like this and have the questions in a list here. And these are the questions you want to ask the speakers in the Q&A part. Patricia, in the interactive sessions, you will also have polls, right?
Some will have polls, yes.
Okay, do you want me to go over this as well, or only with the ones that will have the polls?
Maybe you can just go quickly so everyone can see.
Okay.
If you change your mind and you think you want it, feel free to let me know. Just know there's one limitation to the poll, is that you cannot do it live like we do in a live event, on-site event, because there's anywhere between 20 to 40-second lag between the time you are speaking in the Zoom and the time where the delegate will see you on the platform. Because it's a broadcast, there's always this delay. So you cannot launch a poll, expect for the next 10-second people to vote and get the answers. So you need to design your voting so that you ask it maybe at the beginning of a case presentation, and then you get the answers a few minutes later when the case has been presented. So you need to work it out a little bit differently than in real life, so to say.
Yeah, so the polls are out up here, live polls. There are different kinds of polls that you can do in Zoom, in Slido, sorry. And as I understood, Easel will prepare the questions, right?
Yes,
or do you type in? Yes, okay.
Yes, you just send us the questions and we will populate Slido already.
Okay, so then there will be questions in here, and the only thing you have to do then is activate one. So this is a multiple choice question. You just say activate, and then people can start answering in here. But as Patricia says, when I say something in the Zoom, the audience will see it like 30 seconds later. But when I activate the poll, it's on there immediately. Because this is something different. It's not in the live stream, it's under the live stream. So when in the presentation there's something, like you said, a case study or something, maybe you wait like 10 to 20 seconds or something until you really activate the poll. It's live on the website directly, but the live stream has a bit of delay. You can only activate one at a time. So when I activate the next one, has stopped, or you just stop whatever is running. You can go back to the questions up here. So yeah, that's it for the site. You can do announcements if you want to. I don't know if this is relevant right now. I can do an announcement here, like please head over to the polls, and then I can say announce now, and a little window pops up for the viewers. Now I also have to stop this.
And Karina, you will be showing the results of the poll. You're taking care of displaying the results, correct?
They are automatic, like the thing you saw here when I activate this. It's growing whoever is doing something here. So when this is the small window here is the participant mode. So this is what the participants see. But I responded to this. Wait, let me reset. It's just because I tested that already. So I will start this poll again. So now I can select how many options can I add, and I say 3. Send. And then I see what others are saying too. So this is growing over time. It's there automatically. So we are not showing it. Slido does this automatically.
And so if you can show maybe just the delegate view so they can see what they will have.
You mean this one here?
Exactly. So basically you'll have on the top, this is like all the video and the presentation. Then on the left hand side, you have the program of the session. And then you have the Slido plugin for the delegate. So basically they'll have the Q&A option. They can type in the questions, or they can go automatically. If a poll is active, they will have the poll, and then they can basically answer the questions. Once they answered, you see the result coming in. So your view is a bit different from the delegate, but basically it's the same result.
Yeah, I would recommend
Can I ask a question at
Sure.
this moment, or should we do that later?
No, do.
I'm in a pro and con session, and there is actually a couple of surveys that will be also asked to the audience. But I think if I'm the one who is doing the pro and another one is doing the con, that is not me who has to do these questions here, right? So this is a task for the moderator and not for us, right?
Yes, it can be the moderator. Also, you will have in all rooms, you will have an easel staff that will be there who has the same access to Slido. So if you prefer that this person launches the poll, you can also choose to do so.
Thank you.
And I have a question, since we're on the poll from Philippa. If you do want a poll, just be in touch with me and we can we can set it up. Technically, we can do one live, but I would not suggest it. To be completely honest, it's the first time we're doing a live digital event. If it's simple questions, or if we know in advance the kind of questions you may want to ask, we can try. So if you want to design the question lives, let me know. We can try to play around. Otherwise, you can give it to us the morning before the event is enough. You let us know that you want one. We plan for it in our schedule, and then we could enter the session, the questions shortly before the sessions. I also have a question from Michelle regarding how you can communicate about the questions. You basically have 2 ways of communicating. One is using exactly the chat that is in Zoom. However, we prefer that you do not use the talk to everyone chat in Zoom. Because it is, to make a long story short, it's built in the broadcast, and so it will mess with the live broadcast. But I will be setting up WhatsApp groups for every single session, so you will be able to communicate via WhatsApp. For the Q&A, you can decide among yourselves if one will be responsible for choosing all the questions, but if you want, you could basically use the starring option as well. If you like the stars, you could all be starring it and saying, okay, I want this one. You would not know who starred the question, but you would know that one of your co-faculty liked this one, and then they can be addressed in priority. or you can address and saying, I like great questions, I like it, and we should address it. You could discuss this via the WhatsApp if you want. Okay, do you have any other questions either on the Q&A feature or the poll?
Yeah, Patricia, I have some. If you select the questions as moderators, is it enough so it is displayed to the speakers, or do we have to ask the question also?
No, so what we will have in any case in all the sessions with faculty, everyone will see even the moderator view. We'll give access to the moderator view to everyone, so everyone can see all the questions that are coming in. For the chairs, we will ask the chairs to select the one that wants to go visible to the entire public. So basically, what you see on the right-hand side is the live. This is what the delegate will see. So in any case, the speakers, they can see, we choose to have the speaker to be able to see both the rejected and the accepted ones. But
and how do I assure that the speaker is actually addressing that? So
in the end, it's your role as a chair to select the questions that you want to be addressed.
Sure.
The same way we do it. If you chaired a session before at the ILC, we had those iPads with the questions coming in from the app. It was up to the chair to look at the questions coming in and then verbally addressing the good questions to the speaker and say, okay, now, John, we have an excellent questions coming from the audience. Could you please address it and you voice it?
And we should do the same now in this virtual session.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have to speak out and have to.
Yes, and in the end, it's for the chairs to really select the one that should be selected for the discussion.
Mm-hmm. A second question: do we need headsets for this situation, or is it sufficient if we?
Karina, this is more of your expertise. From what I hear on your side, there's a bit of an echo, so maybe a headset might be better.
Yeah, I'd agree. Sometimes we have headsets that are worse than the computer microphones, so you can check that yourself. In the Zoom settings, you can check your microphone. You just say blah, 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 and then you play it so you can hear, and then you plug in the microphone or the headset and you test it again. So you should be able to hear it yourself before you go into the meeting. Because I think now, at what Patricia said, there's an echo in your room. But maybe if you're sitting in a different room on that day, that differs again. But for example, all the time when I'm using my iPhone headphones, my colleagues complain. So I always have to use this.
Last question: when we have this you said about 30 seconds delay.
Yep.
We usually have the questions, or many questions arise at the end or after the summary of a talk. So, and the people have to type it in. So we need how much time after the talk where we just sit and wait for questions, or what is your?
I don't think that will happen.
You look into the audience, you see somebody walking to the microphone, and this is fine.
Most of the time, you always have some people during the talk that are typing in questions. So you very likely will have at least 1 or 2 or 3 questions. By the time the talk is over, you will already have a few in the system. I think people now are getting used to be able to react on the moment. If you have like an interesting point on slide 3, they will ask the question right away. Best practice is to have, as a chair, maybe 1 question ready. If you don't have one, you can address a first question to the speaker, waiting for the questions to come in. But I don't think.
Sorry for again asking. The reason why we have the discussion usually after the end of the talk is that if somebody immediately types in the question, 2 slides later, the speaker may address that, or you may reflect that again in the summary. So many of the questions immediately typed in will resolve itself. That's my experience. during the process and are not so useful to be addressed after the talk.
So I don't remember how your session is designed, but a lot of the sessions, the talks are pre-recorded. So in any case, there's no way of addressing the questions during the talk for the speaker. But if the talk is pre-recorded, the speaker will be able to see the question coming in when the talk is playing. So in a way, the speaker is much more focused on the question while technically he's speaking, because it's a pre-recording. So when the talk is over, the speaker can already address the questions that have come in. I don't know if that answers your question. Sort of.
Partly. It's not the question, it's more the question for the moderators. So, because even if the talk is pre-recorded, we will not remember everything, even if we would have seen it or we have seen the slides. So it is hard to decide right from the scratch if this is a useful question or not, and whether this is going to be addressed. It's us who's selecting the question, and it's not.
Yeah, I think I see what you mean. Have to see if there's a workaround.
Yeah, the problem is the delay.
Yeah.
So the problem is then, should we sit around for 2 minutes after the talk and say, well, now it's time to hand in the questions, and then after 2 minutes we close it, or should we go right away?
I think the best is to tell people to type in before the talk starts, to say if you have any questions during the talk that arise, feel free to type them in as the talk is happening, and we'll address it at the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you address this, it will, yeah. Okay, so basically, on the day of the presentation, you log into, or the session, you log in with the Zoom link. You will be in a room, we call it the warm-up. And during that time, actually, you will be in there with technicians. All of you will be in there, so you can discuss the last details of the sessions, decide if you haven't yet who will be introducing the session, who will be closing, all sorts of details. But mainly the technicians will go over everything with you to make sure that you are connected properly to the Slido, that your microphone is working and all of that. So it's best if you have a headset, you take it with you. If it doesn't work, the technician can help you try to figure out if there's any issue and make things perfect. And Karina will show you basically how you will go live.
Yes, I can do that now. But as mentioned before, we don't have that much time during the warm-up, so please check your microphone yourself. If you can, it's in the Zoom settings next to the audio thing. You can say test microphone, and there you can test your either the computer microphone or the headset. So we should not be doing this with everyone. The time is too little for this. So how we will start the session, so we will have the warm-up, then shortly before the meeting, the technicians will put out their camera and mute themselves. But from our side, so I will always refer to, I will do that. I will unmute myself. I will tell you, okay, we're about to go live. Are you ready? Okay. Then this countdown starts. And after this is done, the Zoom meeting is live. So hello and welcome to the session. We have several speakers, blah, blah, blah. And you introduce the first presentation. While you're doing this, our technician is going through here, so don't get confused by this. You will be able to see this player. It will stay like this. I will just unmute this. So when you say, okay, we have the first presentation by Garcia Lopez, please. We just started. You also
of new therapies against the hepatitis B virus.
So like this. And you're able to see the progress down here. That's why we leave the player open as it is. And you can also see the countdown, how much time is left here. And once the presentation is done, so we have 4 seconds left here, you immediately take over. It's just like it was a live presentation. You say, okay, please start. They present, and then it's, thank you very much. We are either heading to the next presentation or doing the Q&A, whatever is in your session. So it will.
Thank you.
Thanks for this talk, blah, blah, blah. And then we just hop on like this. So The only thing you have to do is to introduce the speaker, and normally they would be on stage and start speaking, but we are kind of doing this. We just start the recording and you can see the talk then.
Okay, is there any question on that or on anything else? Okay, Karina, did you cover now everything?
Yeah, I just thought about one thing regarding the Slido and the delay. So you open up the Zoom. Maybe you noticed that when I shared my screen that your Zoom opens up in full screen, so you're not able to see your other programs. Just click Escape and then Zoom minimizes, and you can drag and drop the windows wherever you want to have them. So for example, on the right side, you put the Zoom meeting, and on the left side, you have the browser open where the Slido will be. And for the delay, everything that happens in the Zoom meeting needs 30 seconds to reach the website, kind of. But the questions, if someone types in a question, you will be able to see it directly. So you don't need to cover like 2 minutes or something after the talk. You finish the talk and then it's like, okay, we're going over to the Q&A part now. I have one question, then you ask the question, and by then there will be the questions there. It's not that long, because the questions, you see them directly. That's just what I was talking about. I don't know if this was clear.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll be receiving very soon an email with with the 2 links. One will be the Zoom link to connect to the session. One will be the Slido link. So that will be opening in a regular browser rather than in Chrome or whatever browser you're using. So you'll be able to see the questions coming in and the poll if you have it. I will also add to this session, to this email, the background of the official background. So I would suggest that you try it ahead of time. You can actually do a Zoom with yourself if you want. Try to change the background and see if it looks okay. If it doesn't, just make sure you have a nice background, especially that you don't have any pharma products or names in the background. Anything else is fine, but so that we don't show any bias towards the industry. This is important. Other than that, it's fine. And also, no, I think that's it. If you have any questions, anything that comes later that you're not sure, feel free to send me or Rocio an email. We'll be happy to follow up. And even if we need to have a Zoom call for us to show you around or something, just let us know. Is there any additional questions? If not, then I will see you virtually all in a couple of weeks.
There's a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry.
So I will give my talk live, pro and con. If my talk extends to 20 minutes, does the connection end?
So if you're live, no, we will not cut you off, but it's the same principle as in real life, so to say. We really ask you to stay on schedule, and one of the main reasons is that normally at the ILC we have, after each session, we have a 15 or half an hour break. We do not have breaks between sessions, and so people are expecting to go to the next session. So we really need, and there I'm reaching out to the chairs especially, to stay on time and finish their session with the closing statement, hopefully 2 minutes before the hour or the half hour, depending when your session ends, so that we can be ready to launch the next session that will be starting, well, hopefully really on time. In some cases, we also have industry sessions following, so you can understand that we commit with them also that we stay on schedule. So it's good that we have a lot of the talks that are pre-recorded. I've seen a lot of those and seen most of you are really good with time. So this is, it's actually will be something new to have a lot of talks that will stay on time. If you do it live, try to stay on time. If you are running too late, then we will ask the chairs to do the same kind of job they usually do on site, which is asking you to finish up and wrap up as soon as possible. And if you go over too much, this probably will cut into the discussion time, which is a pity, because I think in the in this virtual format, the panel discussions, the part where we have the Q&A is what's really is the most interested in this new format, rather than just having a talk. So do your best to stay on time, and not to cut too much into the panel discussions.
Yeah, so maybe one additional thing in the program, you see that there are breaks between the sessions, like half an hour, but we need half an hour to warm up the next people. So we have to leave the Zoom meeting immediately so that the next ones can come in, and we have the warm up with them. So for the viewers, it looks like a half an hour break, but for us, it's like, okay, leave and new ones in.
We actually do in some cases. There's nothing in the live sessions, but we have poster tours during the breaks as well. So we also want to same thing that happens at the on-site event. We want to make sure that people can also go and see the posters. They'll be located in a slightly different place, same way it happens on-site in a real event. But we do have other activities during those breaks, even if it's not pure educational session. It's still abstracts that are being presented. So we'd like to give them a chance to be heard. And okay, so like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to drop an email. I'll be happy to help. And then I wish you all a good next 2 weeks, and we'll see each other virtually at the virtual digital ILC. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye to everybody.
Bye bye. Bye bye very much.